Um, Today I am going to talk to you guys about the summer 2021 shows that I'm looking forward to in the ones that I have been enjoying so far. We are in June. Crazy that we're almost in July. Like summer is halfway over. I feel like it just got started. But I have been enjoying, especially since my master's degree is finished, I've had more time to really catch up on TV shows, watch new TV shows, and just really like start to enjoy them. So I have a list here like on my iPad. So I'm going to be looking down to like talk about them, and I've made some notes. So I'm just going to get into the TV shows. So one show that has completed at this point, and it was just renewed for season 2, and I'm really excited to see what they do, is Cruel Summer. Cruel Summer has to be one of the the most amazingly written like stories for television that I've seen in a really long time. It comes on Freeform, formerly ABC Family, and you know, the writing reminds me of. Firstly, I want to say that it was a very good show. I was scared because ABC Family, well, Freeform now, has the audacity, and I say audacity, to cancel shows that aren't like, I don't know. I don't even know their formula, because I watch Good Trouble. It's not as good as The Fosters, but I watch it. And so that show is on. The Everything's Gonna Be Okay show that they have on, it sucks to me. Never watched Motherland Fort Salem, the witch show. I've never watched that. I didn't watch Siren. I didn't watch any of those. And this is coming from someone who watches just about everything that comes on TV. If it looks decent enough in the trailer, I'm gonna turn it on and watch it. If it cannot get me to watch it, I don't want to say it's not good. I want to say I'm not. I want to say that I'm like some big shot like TV critic, but like I have tried to give everything a chance. I didn't even watch any of those. Cruel Summer gives me almost like beginnings of Pretty Little Liars, because I'm not gonna lie, Pretty Little Liars by the end was trash. It has that grit to it, almost the same grit as if you watched I think it was Ravenswood. That was the spin-off Pretty Little Liars, and only got like one season. It was an amazing show. And also, if you are like an OG like ABC Family fan and you watched The Lying Game, which is by the same woman who wrote I, Marlene King, who did Pretty Little Liars, I believe so, and then Twisted, that had Aben Jogia in it. I like this show, Cruel Summer. I kept seeing the commercials for it, and I wasn't quite sure what it was going to be about. And it was like, this girl's missing, all this stuff. Let me tell you, the first 2-night premiere, I recorded it and I watched it, and I was like, that's what this show's about? Because I had no idea. And that's the thing too, the fact that it didn't tell you really what the show was going to be about, but it still like got you like hooked to want to go and watch it. The next day on TikTok, everyone's talking about it. The past 10 weeks, really 9 weeks, have been just waiting for each episode to come on. That was by far one of the best shows I've seen in years. Because you didn't know like who was telling the truth, you didn't know who was being right, and then it was like a twist at the end, but then it was like another twist at the very end. And I don't really know if they're gonna do like an anthology series, which I think would be really interesting. I think Olivia Holt has been around for a while. I remember when she started on Kicking It on Disney XD, and then she was in that I Didn't Do It show that got canceled. She was on Cloak and Dagger, which I thought was a good show, but they canceled it because I think that Marvel was really trying to get most of their stuff. Well, I don't really know that because it was on Hulu because of I don't know. But like, Cloak and Dagger was decent. I will say I only watched the first season, but Olivia Holt has really been trying to like get that like show that sticks, and I think that this one really is it. I have to say that this was one of the like chef's kiss, like amazing. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I don't want to talk too much about it because I want to give it away if you haven't watched it. So if you have not gone, please go watch Cruel Summer. All the episodes are on Hulu. They're all on the ABC Family, the Freeform app. Go watch it. Just go watch it. Like, it's so good. Now in the beginning of summer, this isn't really summer. It kind of this wasn't really summer. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now, I have to say I loved WandaVision. WandaVision wasn't summer at all. WandaVision was in the spring. If you haven't watched WandaVision, go watch it. I think it's really good. Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's more of a spring into summer show. I loved Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was a great show. Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie did a fantastic job playing their roles. And it really also, what I've noticed with a lot of these shows is that, especially with, and I'll talk about Loki in a minute, it showed me that there are a lot of people within the Marvel Cinematic Universe who deserve more shine. That's all I have to say. Because there are some people some movies that I don't care for. And I think that Phase 4 is in good hands. I really do. Falcon and Winter Soldier, because it touched on race, it touched on so much that it was just so, like, me, I don't think I would have usually watched something like that, but I just did, because I was like, let me just watch it. And I'm glad that I did. It is a fantastic, that is a great show. Disney is killing it with the Marvel TV shows. They really are. They're killing it with the TV shows in general. Like Disney Plus has been my jam. Like, I have shows that I need to, like, let me tell you. So yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier was amazing. And then we had like a pause in like Marvel shows. They were like, we're gonna get new Marvel content every week, and then they like messed it up with pushing Loki back. They pushed Loki back, supposed to be July, and then they ended up bringing it back up to like June 9th or something, whenever it came out. Tom Hiddleston, I don't think anybody else could ever play Loki. I think that he's a phenomenal actor. I will say, I just found out that him and Chris Evans are the same age, and I'm like, not to say he looks old, but I was like, he was only 30 in the first one? I don't know. In the first Thor, I don't know. I was just really thrown back by that. The fact that Anthony Mackie is like 3 or 4 years older than him is like, I was just like, I can't believe that. Like, but I do really like Loki. Only 2 episodes have come out. And I like what they're doing. It's like a different, it's different than the other shows because it's showcasing something that we've never really heard of before. Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision had things that we didn't really discuss before, but I do think that it is important for us to like have the conversations about like representation and it fell down. So having the conversations about representation and I think that they've casted really well for the Loki show. I like the storyline. I like the whole thing about the time variant alliance and like talking about the timekeepers and all this stuff. And it's really interesting because it has a lot of talk, and I've seen it on like TikTok where they're like, even with the new Eternals movie, when they're like, we've never stepped in. It's like, it's crazy that like all of this was like a part of like history, like it's talking about real stuff like, oh, slavery, yeah, that was okay, we don't need to step in, like that goes with the timeline, like, oh, and then the cinematic universe, oh yeah, Thanos, oh, that was totally part of the timeline. And it's like, well, maybe they knew that they were gonna win. I'm like, all of this is just crazy. And then like going into how they're creating like alternate timelines and all this other stuff, which is wild because it's like when they say that like when you create an alternate timeline and you go back and you mess with something to make it different, it's so interesting because we had that whole conversation in Avengers Endgame, and it's like, where was the TVA? Where was the TVA? So, I don't know. It's interesting, and I want to know who the timekeepers are, and I just want to see like where the next episode goes, because I'm like, I don't know who the variant is. I don't know who it is. Like, I'm just like, I don't know these characters like that. I did not watch Thor Ragnarok. Maybe I need to go watch it. Maybe I'll understand it a little bit more, but I don't know. But I am enjoying the TV show. I think that it's really good. Some other shows that I have watched. I'll just continue with Disney Plus. I started watching Big Shot, the show with John Stamos about the basketball coach. And I just started watching it because I was bored one night, and I enjoyed it. All of the episodes have come out now, 10 episodes. I hope that it gets a second season. The non-Star Wars, non-Marvel shows on Disney Plus, I don't think get a lot of shine. I think that we could do better with advertising them and talking about them. I watched Big Shot because I was just like, whatever. Like, I never really saw a trailer about it. I didn't know what the show was about. I had no idea what the show was about. I just thought it was about basketball. I was like, I don't really like sports, but like, I'll watch it. And I watched it and I really enjoyed it. Like, I watched the first, when I started watching it, I think it was like 3 episodes had come out at that point, and I was like, oh no, I really love this show. Like, this show is so good. Like, it's so cute. And I really enjoyed it. I love the storyline, how he bonds with the girls on the team, and going into like the different girls and their personalities and the things that they have going on. Like, it was really well written. It's so well written, and it reminds me of like the writing that I enjoyed with Diary of a Future President, which has been renewed for a second season. I watched that way back in 2019. 2020, and obviously with COVID and everything, like nothing was really filming, but I would like to see. Also, I would like to see Encore come back on Disney Plus. I'll probably do like a video of like my top Disney Plus stuff, or like shows that I hope that they renew. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Big Shot. I think that was really good. And I'm not just saying that they're all really good. Like, I really mean it, like the storyline. And I'm saying very little because I don't want to ruin the show if you want to go watch it. But coming from someone, like I said, I usually will give TV shows a chance. And I've noticed that with a lot of television shows, if it's not like their top show, top priority, that like they don't get a lot of advertising, like they don't push it. And so, for example, like they have like the Mighty Ducks show. I don't watch it. I didn't like the Mighty Ducks movies, so I'm not watching the Mighty Ducks show. And I feel like that one's a little bit more for like children. Granted, some of these shows are for children, and I like them, but it just doesn't appeal to me. Like, it's just not appealing to me, so I'm not watching. That's not to say that the Mighty Ducks isn't a good show. It's just not my cup of tea. Another show that just came back, High School Musical, the series, which is a weird name because they're not doing anything from High School Musical 2. We kind of got a little bit of it in the first episode of the season, but we haven't, like, we're not doing High School Musical 2, and I always wondered how many seasons that this could go on with, considering that there's only 3 movies. So it's like, is there only 3 seasons? I don't know. And especially with Olivia Rodrigo, like, making it big and everything, I'm just like, I'm sorry. Especially with all of that, you know, I don't know how long it'll last, like if she wants to branch out or if she wants to do something else. But I have to say, I watched the first season. I loved it when it first came out. I was really excited for the second season to come out. I like the High School Musical movies. I am biased to say that the Cheetah Girls 2 specifically, is a lot. I think Cheetah Girls is better than the High School Musical franchise. I really do. But I feel like High School Musical appealed more to white children, if I'm being frank. And so I think that was more of a white film, whereas the Cheetah Girls was a lot more diverse. They were in New York. It was, you know, that's just how the movie was. Ethnically, I found that like High School Musical is more of like the white kids were like in love with it. And for me, they were okay. They were all right. Like, they had singers that were just okay. And the storyline was just okay. Like, none of it really appealed. Like, I didn't relate to any of this stuff. It was just a movie to watch. I do enjoy the TV show because I find it interesting that like East High School, where they filmed, is like a real school. And I couldn't imagine going to school with that. First of all, that giant cafeteria. It's in Utah, in Salt Lake City. And oh my God. And it's just, the school's massive. Schools in Florida don't look like that. Our schools look like prisons. So I'm like, my high school did not look like that. Our cafeteria was so small. So having that is just like, oh my God. Like, I wonder, like, you know, when you see like people with like these, when you watch high school shows, if their high school experience was anything like the movies, because they had this like stereotypical looking high school. I mean, our schools don't even have lockers. So it's different. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the show. The kids are way more talented than the original cast. I will say it till the day I die. Those kids, and some of them adults, are amazingly talented. I think Olivia Rodrigo can sing, but I think Olivia Rodrigo is more on the same level as like the original High School Musical cast. And even the boy who plays Ricky, the main dude, and what's her name? She plays Gina, Sophia Wiley. She's a great dancer. Her acting has gotten better. I loved her on Andy Mack. Her singing doesn't match on par to like what's her name, I think it's like Dara Renee, and I cannot remember the one who plays Ashlyn, the redheaded girl. Talent, those two, top tier talent. These actors in this show, amazing. Their voices, their acting, their dancing. This is what I wanted in the original High School Musical. They are way more talented. No offense to Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, and Corbin Bleu in them, but these kids, this is the future of entertainment, especially with the diversity within the cast. I love it. You know, I've never been to Utah. I have watched The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's still very white, but I love that they were able to incorporate so much diversity and representation across all realms in this TV show, and I think it's been fabulously written. I do, and I have to say, I'm gonna be doing a movie. I'm gonna be doing a YouTube video talking about how teen shows have evolved and the adult content within teen shows. I like that this show is a show that you can watch with your family, and it is a teen show. Like, kids can watch it, teens can watch it. I'm 26 and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Every Friday I'm like, okay, let me sit down and watch Big Shot, and let me watch High School Musical, the musical, the series. Now that Big Shot's gone off, like, I'm ready to watch the High School Musical show. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I wish they were doing more High School Musical songs because of what it's called, but I guess because they're at the school, that's just the name, and it's a really long and exhausting name, but I guess they needed the name to draw in an audience. But I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it, so I'm really, really enjoying that. So some shows that I am looking forward to. So I have to say that, I have one. So I'm so excited. Real Housewives of Potomac is coming back on July, I believe, 11th, and I'm so ready for it. Like, I'm so ready for it. I love the Real Housewives franchise, but I only watch certain ones. I started watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I've watched religiously since I was in like 10th grade. Then I started watching Potomac just because they were Black people, and I was like, oh, Potomac, like in DC, and I love DC, want to live there one day. And so I was like, oh, like, let me start watching this show one day on my computer because I was in college, and I was like, I'm loving it. Like, we're almost on season 6 or 7 now, and I'm absolutely loving this. Like, I love that show. So that's coming on July 11th. It's been pushed back because it was supposed to come on earlier, but I can't wait for that to come on. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is back. I have been watching that. I think it's on like episode 3 now. Episode 3 or 4, and it's been really interesting with the divorce of Erica and her husband, and I'm loving Crystal. They added Garcelle last season, and she was the first Black cast member, and now we have Crystal Minkoff, who is now the first Asian cast member, going off of how they've also diversified Real Housewives of Dallas with I think her name was Tiffany Moon. I think, is it her name? She's a doctor. I don't watch that show. I've never watched Real Housewives of Dallas, but I like that they diversified it. They also diversified Real Housewives of New York with Ebony. I think her name is Ebony K. Brown. She's a lawyer. I know of her because Ebony Williams. Is her name Ebony? Honestly, guys, like, let me look it up because I don't want to get her name mixed up because I want to make sure that I got her name correctly. Oh no, it's Williams. I don't know why I put her last name as being Brown. But yeah, Ebony Williams. I've seen her before. I've heard of her before, and I really like her, and I like that they're diversifying it. But the one thing that I have to say that I'm seeing in Beverly Hills and in the clips that I've seen from New York, because I don't really watch New York, I watched the first episode because it was on YouTube. They put like the first episodes of the seasons on YouTube, and I feel like, Crystal's having those conversations, Garcelle's having those conversations, Ebony, Tiffany, all these people are having these conversations of, all of these privileged white women are going through life and they've never had to think about anything other than their privilege. They're not thinking about being privileged. They're just thinking about the fact that they're going through life and they're rich and they're white and that they're just they're the default. So they don't really understand anything different. And having those conversations. And, I hate that it's almost like you're here only for educating them. And it's not my job to educate you. If you've gone through life at this point, you should know. You have television, you have radio. Granted, they're trying to get rid of critical race theory and just, whitewashing history as a whole. But like, it's just, I don't like you have comedic relief. I feel like they're like educational relief but not even relief of like building tension of like having these uncomfortable conversations, and these conversations that we've been having amongst ourselves, as minorities in the United States, really all over the world, as non-white people and non-white presenting people, and you think about things that they don't. And so it's interesting, and I was looking forward to it, especially with Erica's divorce, and after last season how they treated Denise Richards. I really wanted to see how that was gonna go. With Lisa Rinna's daughter dating Scott Disick, who has kids with Kourtney Kardashian. It's just so much intertwined. It was just like, and like Kathy Hilton's on it this season. I'm like it was just a lot. So I was really looking forward to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because I got into that one like on Hulu, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. And then I started watching it about a year ago, and I was like, eh. And then I just started watching it again like last year, and I finished the whole thing, and I was like, okay, I like this one. I like it. I tried to watch New Jersey, but I'm like, I can't get into New Jersey. They haven't diversified New Jersey yet. Maybe if they do, I'll start watching it again, but right now I don't have anything to look forward to. But Erica and Tom Drury's divorce is definitely a hot topic. It was like centered around the whole last episode last week, and honestly nothing really came out of it, just for Erica to come in the last 5 minutes. But it was interesting because I just watched, it was like The Housewife and the Hustler or something, and it was an ABC News documentary that they have on Hulu, and I really enjoyed that. I've been loving their documentaries lately. They've been doing so good. They had one, it was on OnlyFans. They've had some really good ones. So I watched that one, and it was so enlightening, and it was talking about like after that documentary like special came out, that they had that her lawyers had dropped her. And I was like, I didn't even know all this stuff was happening. Like, I knew they were getting a divorce, and I knew that there was like lawsuits against them, but I had no idea the extent or like what the story was behind it, mostly because I didn't care to look it up, because I don't care about him. I know he's like the Aaron Brockovich lawyer and everything, but I really didn't care. But I did think that it was crazy that she said that she was spending $40,000 a month on glam and her upkeep. And I was like, ma'am, you look trashy half the time. Like, I don't know, you're spending $40K on me. You need to get your money back, because you're not looking classy like that. So yes, Real Housewife has been something that I'm loving. Another show that first of all, I have to say, I wasn't looking forward to it in the summer because I didn't know when it was coming back on. Family Karma. I am from South Florida, and I like to watch things with people from South Florida. Last year, I was watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Was it 2020? Maybe it wasn't. I think it was when Real Housewives of Atlanta was coming on. It was one of the Real Housewives shows, and I was watching it, and something came on afterwards, and it was like these Indian people, and it was like a show, and it was talking about they were from Miami and all this stuff. Even though I have to say, some of them live in Miami, some of them are not in Miami. As someone who is from South Florida, I know Pembroke Pines when I see it. I know the architecture style, I know the landscape, I know Pembroke Pines, Southwest Ranches, Fort Lauderdale, Miramar, Davie. I know it when I see it because I grew up there. And it is not all Miami. And I know that Miami is very glamorous, and that's why people just say, oh yeah, Miami. But that show is definitely a Broward County show. For anyone who's a Broward County native, they know Broward when they see it. I have to say, I like the storyline this season. The last one I know was filmed maybe in like late 2018, early 2019. Because you film a show and then you need a network to pick it up. I liked it, and then I was like, oh my god, are they picked up for another season? Like, I kept checking and checking, and I didn't see anything. And then how I found out that they were filming a second season was because one of the cast members, they had to halt it because he had COVID. So I was like, okay, we're getting a second season. And TikTok, that For You page and the ads, I've been seeing a lot of ads that I don't care about lately, but I was scrolling one day. It was on a Wednesday, and I was scrolling, and it goes, Family Karma season 2 premiere tonight. And I'm like, Family Karma's coming back? Family Karma is coming back? I was like, I didn't even know. Like, I had no idea it was coming back that day. Like, sure enough, it was like 6:30. I was like, let me go on and hit record, series record. Let me hurry up, because I was so excited about it. Like, I was so excited. I love this show. I love some good reality TV shows. I do. And Bravo, they just do it well. I grew up watching E! As a kid, and I I loved Keeping Up with Kardashians in the beginning, like 2007, 2008-ish, like when it first came out, when I was in middle school. And I watched all the shows. I watched like Girls Next Door. I probably shouldn't have been watching that. I watched, I remember it was like Living Lohan with like Lindsay Lohan's siblings. I liked, it was like Pretty Wild, the one with Alexis Nyers, you know, and the Bling Ring is like based off of her. I loved those reality TV shows. Like they were so good. And now I feel like Bravo does a good job of like doing reality TV shows. And so if you have not watched Family Karma, I definitely recommend you watching that because it is actually really good. Now, I'm going to get into some shows that I have not watched, but that are coming up that I think are interesting. So the first one that I saw was, no, I'll go in order of my list. So I just saw that The Good Fight is coming out on June 24th, which is soon. That's in from the time that I'm filming this, it's in about like 3 days. So I'm looking forward to that. So I actually really like The Good Fight. It comes on Paramount Plus, and this is a good segue because there's some shows on Paramount Plus that I'm really enjoying, so we can talk about those. So Paramount Plus is now, used to be CBS All Access, and I have to say what I love about Paramount Plus is the fact that they have all the old Nickelodeon shows. So they have like Zoe 101, they have like Kenan and Kel, all of that, like True Jackson VP, some deeper stuff from my childhood, like I loved As Told by Ginger, Invader Zim, like all the, like Hey Arnold, all of those shows, all of that is on Paramount Plus. And I love that because Disney Plus is missing a lot of shows, in my opinion, and especially a lot of movies. So I like what Paramount did, and it's a Viacom, really, because like Viacom, like MTV, VH1, all of that, so all those shows are on Paramount Plus. So if you were a Nickelodeon kid, which I was for like a lot of my childhood, and then I switched over to being like a Disney Channel kid when I was in like third or like fourth, like about third grade. Yeah, if you like all those shows, like definitely go watch. And some of them are on Hulu, some of them are on Netflix, so if you can't find them there, but yeah, those shows are there, and I'm really enjoying it. So The Good Fight is on there, and it is based off of The Good Wife, which is a show that was on CBS for like, I want to say almost like 10 years. Sorry, there is something in my eye. For almost like 10 years. And I didn't watch The Good Wife, my parents did, but I'm loving The Good Fight. It's about like this law firm that was introduced within The Good Wife, and it's like, it has all these different things. Each season brings you something different. It's really, really enjoyable. Like I said, like diversity is something that I really take important, like is important to me, and I take very seriously. And I like that. I like the actors in it, and I think that they do very well. Paramount Plus. Now, I actually started watching this show. I've seen the first 3 episodes because they just premiered, but it is a Hot Topic summer show, and that is the revival of iCarly. Okay, I'm not gonna say I loved it. I loved it when it first came out. Towards the end, I watched the ending. I remember watching the finale of iCarly in 2012. I was a senior in high school. Yeah, it was like the end of 2012. I had just started my senior year of high school, and I remember watching it and being like, oh my God, like watching the flashbacks, I was like, they were so young. And we grew up with them. And like, as you're growing up, you don't notice people aging. But then when you look back, you're like, oh my God, like they were babies. And so I really liked it. And it was really before its time, because back then people, like YouTube was like just getting started. YouTube really didn't become big till like 2007-ish. And like beauty influencers and all of those people were during that time, and so like rising up. And so the fact that like it was talking about like vlogging and having like a channel like that is really interesting. And then it's really what I think that Hilary Duff wanted, I almost said Hannah Montana, what Hilary Duff wanted Lizzie McGuire to be more adult. Like they do curse in it, they talk about like adult themes, but like it's really, I think, tastefully done, and it's well done, and I really enjoyed it. I really like it. I'm looking forward to it. Like I think that that's going to be a really good show. And I also wish Jeanette McCurdy the best, because I know she has quit acting and she had a lot of turmoil and stuff when it comes to that show. I mean, anyone who worked for Dan Schneider would. So there's a show called Physical that's on Apple TV, and it has Rose Byrne, I'm not quite sure how to say her name in it, and it's like this 80s theme show, and it talks about like in the early 80s she becomes like a lifestyle fitness guru, but it looks really interesting. I don't know. I like 80s themed TV shows. Like, it just looks super interesting. So I was like, I'm going to watch it. And it looks like it's going to be really, really good. Another Paramount Plus show, switching back to Paramount Plus, is that I want to watch Why Women Kill Season 2. Why Women Kill Season 1 was really well done. And I like the time jump of it. This season doesn't have the time jump, but that's okay. I didn't finish Season 1 because I was using someone else's CBS All Access account, and then it was no longer working, but I just got Paramount Plus, so now I'm like trying to catch up and finish it. But the Season 2 just came out, and it looks really, really good, and I like the overall theme of the television show. So I'm honestly like looking forward to that because I think that it's going to be really good. Oh, also, as I'm reading this list, I'm realizing that some of these shows I've started watching. Encore on BET about the girl bands. It has like Aubrey O'Day, Keely Williams from Aubrey O'Day is from Danity Kane. They have Keely Williams from 3LW and the Cheetah Girls. They have Felicia and Fallon from Cherish. They have some women from like 702, Total. They have Shamar DeVoe, Nevaeh, who wasn't in a group, but okay. So they have like these people on it, and they're like trying to like redo they're making a girl group to make an album, and like the divisiveness and like the kindness and the drama is like giving me very much early 2000s reality TV show. So, and because Aubrey O'Day has been like, she's on Making the Band, which was like Diddy's show about like, you know, making groups, which is how Danity Kane became a thing. I find it to be really interesting. So I've been watching it. I'm enjoying it. I don't want to give away any of the drama. But I will say that, like, as someone who wasn't really a Keely Williams fan after watching this show, I can definitely say that she is not the issue in this one. So that's all I'll say. And if you know the problematic past that she's had, especially with Raven Simone and Adrian Bailon and Aturi Naughton and everything that's gone on, it's definitely like one of the more interesting ones. So if you can catch that, it comes on BET. So I recommend watching that. Also, the new season of Dynasty on the CW has come out. So if you like Liz Gillies, if you watched Victorious, she's in that. I'm really enjoying it. It's on season 5 now, I think. I really enjoy that. I can't give too much away about season 5 at this point because if you haven't watched it, so much has happened, and it's literally like a soap opera like the original Dynasty show was. So if you like drama, then I definitely think that you should watch that. There was another show that I wrote down that I cannot find now, and I don't know why, because I was going to talk about another Paramount Plus show, but I cannot think of it right now, but that is okay. So the Olympics is also supposed to be happening this summer. They're doing the Olympic trials. I don't know what day the Olympics starting. It says that it's supposed to start on July 23rd, which is news to me because the news was just talking about how they don't even know if it was going to happen because they were under it's like because of the COVID variants and stuff, they were in a state of emergency. So I don't know how that's going to work. I honestly don't know. I watched the Olympics since I was like maybe 13 in like 2008. Like when Shawn Johnson and like Nastia Liukin and them went into gymnastics. Now, I say them because I only really watch gymnastics. I'll sometimes watch swimming. I watched swimming the last time because of, her name was like Simone. I can't remember what her last name is, but she was the black woman who was like the first black person to win like a medal, to medal in swimming. And then she got the gold medal, I believe, for swimming. So I'm going to watch that. I only really watch gymnastics. That's the only one that I've ever really like cared about like that. So I just watched that. Some other shows that are going to be coming out is going to be Grownish season 4 is going to be coming out. So that's going to be really interesting. That's going to come out in July. I don't really know how many more seasons they're going to do because it is senior year. I mean, they're going to graduate at some point. So it's like, I honestly don't know how many more seasons of that can go on, especially since they've just said that Blackish is going on its last one, and they canceled Mixed Dish. They said there's going to be like an oldish show, but I haven't heard anything else about that, so I don't believe that that's going to be happening. Like, I talked about Good Trouble a little bit earlier when I was talking about TV shows, and on like Freeform. So part 2 of season 4 of Good Trouble is going to be coming out, and I definitely will be tuning in for that because I love it. Let's see, anything else that I would, so Riverdale's going to be coming back in August. I don't know why it's taking so long, and a lot of people don't like Riverdale, but I like it. Like, I really enjoy it. Oh, and I saw this when I was visiting my parents, and I was watching TV one night, and I saw Fantasy Island. I watched that recently, the one with Lucy Hale and Maggie Q, and I was like, oh my god, like, this movie's crazy. And then I saw they're making a TV show. No one told me that they were making a TV show about Fantasy Island. Like, when I tell you I'm ready to watch it, like, I was like, okay, Fox, like, you've got me. Which I don't really trust Fox, because after they canceled Star and kept Empire on when nobody was watching that, after they canceled Star, and then they canceled what was the name of the show? It was the one with Kim Cattrall, and it was about the dude that he was a pastor, and then like he like went down to a plane crash. He had like illegitimate children. I can't remember what the name of it was, but they canceled it mid-season. They didn't even show all the episodes. It was like they didn't even finish the season. So I was like, I'm gonna finish watching that. So you know, you never know. So then you're like, I don't even want to invest in Fox shows anymore, because they just cancel everything, and you're just like, ugh. I don't even want to have anything to do with this. Oh, 9 Perfect Strangers is not a TV show. Maybe it is a TV show, or it's a movie on Hulu. I'm going to be watching that. I'm looking forward to that. It has Nicole Kidman, and it has, what's that lady's name? Regina Hall. It has like Manny Jacinto. It has so many people. Melissa McCarthy. So I was like, I'm definitely going to be watching that. So 9 Perfect Strangers looks like it's going to be actually really, really good. I think that is all on my list. Yeah, I went through all of my list. It was a little bit out of order when I started talking about other stuff. But yeah, that is my list of things that I'm looking forward to for TV shows. Yeah. There's a lot of them, obviously. I didn't intend for this video to be so long, but summer TV shows are definitely it. I went into a little bit of August, but as like the new like TV show lineups start coming out, I think that it would be, I'm gonna do another one talking about like the fall shows that I'm looking forward to, and then maybe even a little bit of a recap of what I thought of the summer shows. So yeah, I love TV, and I do my movie reviews occasionally, obviously, because movie theaters haven't been open, and like it's like $30 to watch something on demand, or like on the premium access stuff on Disney Plus. So I was like, I'm not paying for that. And so like with HBO Max doing their all the Warner Brothers shows and stuff being put out on there, it makes it a lot easier to watch them. So I've just been like just watching TV shows. So if you like this video, if you want me to talk about some other TV shows, drop down in the comments. Remember to like this video and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Briannis. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back in my next video. Bye.